They told you God only helps the faithful, that if you don't believe in Him, He won't believe in you. We even grew up hearing if you don't believe in God, you're gonna go to hell, like God hates every single non-believer. We see in the Bible that sin is taken seriously, and yes, there are moments where His judgment is real, but at the same time, the Bible also shows us something else. God still uses non-believers to fulfill His plan. We'll start this off quickly with Cyrus. He was a Persian king. He didn't even follow God. He didn't even know God. Yet God still used him. Isaiah 45:51 even says that he was God's anointed. Isn't that crazy? God literally called this pagan king anointed. Why? Because Cyrus was one who helped the Jews return from exile and rebuild Jerusalem. You see, this was a part of prophecy. A man of power, wealth, and influence who didn't even know the God of Israel, and still, God used him for a purpose. So don't say God only works through pastors. Don't say God doesn't even use the rich to do His will. And especially don't say that God can't use you. If you use a pagan king to fulfill prophecy and complete His plan, then your background isn't an excuse. He was a powerful military leader, respected, wealthy, but he got leprosy. And as we know, in those times, once you got that, you were cast out from society. However, the prophet Elisha told him to dip in the Jordan River 7 times, but Naaman got offended. Does that sound familiar? Some of you are the same way, or you know someone like that. God gives simple instructions, but pride gets in the way. Naaman even almost missed his healing because of his pride. However, whenever he finally humbled himself, he was healed. I know this story was kind of quick, but I wanted to include it because nobody should miss their miracle just because they're offended on how it looks. Let's be honest about her. She was a prostitute in a pagan city, in a place that God was about to destroy. When God sent spies to the land, she helped hide them. She protected them. Why? Because she believed. She said, I've heard what your God has done, and I know He's real. That's real faith right there, and that faith saved her and her whole family. But it didn't just stop there. Most people stop at the miracle and they forget about the legacy that she actually left behind. Rahab didn't just become saved. She became a part of Jesus' bloodline. Let that sink in. One of Jesus' ancestors was a prostitute. That's the beauty of it. Your faith doesn't just save you, it can even bless your entire bloodline. So you want to start breaking generational curses? Start with faith, then with obedience. But start by saying yes to God even whenever you don't have it figured out yet. He wasn't Jewish. He wasn't from the right background. He didn't grow up with scripture. He wasn't a part of the chosen people. But he understood something that a lot of religious people didn't. When his servant was dying, he didn't beg Jesus to come over to his home. He said something simple, but even more powerful than that. He said, Lord, I am not worthy to shelter you under my roof, but only say the word and my servant will be healed. And Jesus stopped and he said, I haven't heard this much faith in all of Israel. That's crazy. Think about it. You have all these Jews denying Jesus, but then you have this one man, a Roman, a Gentile at that, but had more faith than all of them. And if you're a Roman Catholic, you already know that statement of faith because before communion, we say it every time. Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but only say the word and my soul shall be healed. Those words mean a lot to me, especially as a Gentile and especially coming from someone who had no faith. It's not about your background at all, it's about your belief. This man had nothing to offer. No good works, no good past. He was literally dying right next to Jesus, but he looked over and he said, remember me, Lord, when you come into your kingdom. Jesus replied, today you will be with me in paradise. And I want to talk about that for a second because a lot of people, whenever they hear Jesus say that, they assume that it means that the thief went straight to heaven. But let me explain, in Catholic and Orthodox tradition, before Jesus rose from the dead, heaven wasn't open yet. The righteous and the old saints like Abraham, Moses, David didn't go straight to heaven after they died. Instead, they waited in a place of peace, often called the bosom of Abraham, or as Jesus says here, paradise. And Jesus, he went there too. But then why in the Nicene Creed we say he descended into hell? Isn't that kind of harsh? And that line confuses people. A lot of us grew up thinking, why did Jesus go to hell? Is he being punished for my sins? Is he actually taking on my punishment? Well, no, that's not what it means. The word that's actually used is Hades, meaning that it's not an actual place of torment and fire, but rather an underworld. Jesus wasn't suffering, he was preaching. 1 Peter 3:19 states, he preached to the spirits in prison. And 1 Peter 4:6 says, the gospel was preached even to the dead. Jesus descended into Hades, into the realm of the dead, to set the captives free and spread the gospel to them himself. So recap, He told them himself. Whenever he told the thief, today you are going to be with me in paradise, he meant you are coming with me to the place where the righteous are waiting, to the place of peace until the resurrection. That thief with one moment of faith got to be with Jesus that same day in paradise, while Jesus preached to the dead and opened the gates of heaven. And just like the Roman centurion's words, that thief's words are now remembered. If you go to any Orthodox or even a Byzantine Catholic church, that prayer is said before communion. Remember me, O Lord, when you come into your kingdom. These two men, outsiders, non-believers, sinners, still spoke words that became a part of Christian worship. That's how real their faith was, and that's what grace looks like. And of course, we got the prodigal son. And if you know the story, he walked away from his father. He wasted his inheritance. But we're going to be saving that story for its own video, because as a prodigal son myself, that story means a lot to me, and it'll mean a lot to you if you haven't heard it. See how God really loves you, but stick around. That video is coming a lot sooner than you think. Here's the point. They weren't believers, they weren't qualified, they weren't holy, clean, or perfect, and still God showed up. So what's your excuse? You're not too far gone, you're not too dirty, you're not too late. God doesn't just wait for you to be perfect, He's waiting for you to come home. If this video helped you, don't just keep scrolling. Do something with what you heard. Talk to God, visit a church, start praying again, and open a Bible. Start where you're at and let God meet you there. And if you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel for weekly uploads. And also check out the link to the Patreon. I'm going to be posting a lot there, the raw stuff, the story behind the story, and the videos that won't be making it to YouTube. But for now, I'm the prodigal son, and if they weren't believers, but God still showed up, He's still showing up today, even for you. See you in the next one.